Next thing I wanted to talk about though was it was Zhang Weili versus Rose Namajunes. What did you think of that fight?
Well, Zhang Weili, first of all, I want to state that Rose proved everyone wrong. She came out, she was confident. I mean, at the start, she was saying, "I'm the best." When Bruce Buffer was announcing her, she just picked her strikes really, really well. And that head kick just came out of nowhere. Now, I was just absolutely stunned. The commentators were stunned. Joe Rogan was crying. But the thing is, though, Zhang Weili was like having a go at Keith Peterson. Zhang Weili is so tough, but I actually agree with the stoppage because she was down, she was cold, and if he didn't take her off, she probably would have ate a whole lot more shots. And I kind of respect the idea that he stopped it because I feel like she was out for a couple of those shots, and every shot that she would have was just made the damage more and more. Now, do I believe that Zhang Weili could have gone on? Not quite. I do understand her frustration because I don't think Zhang Weili's ever been knocked out before, and especially in the early rounds. But there's a lot of talk about they should run back to fight, and personally, I do agree. I don't think that's a bad argument at all, considering that there's a bit of a lack of talent in the strawweight. Because I don't really want to see Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Rose 3. I feel like a rematch between Weili Zhang and Rose is generally the way to go. And the other thing I've got to pop off is this Trevor Whitman. He's probably had one of the best days in office for him as a coach ever. Like, to have two of his fighters win both of his matches and one retain the title. So both retain the titles. I mean, hats off to Trevor, man. He's really the real MVP of the of coaching, really.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree when it comes to Trevor Whitman for sure, because, I mean, if we continue to see maybe Justin Gaethje in a next fight in the future, even continue to allocate wins to his win column, then we could expect him to be probably head coach of the year. He's doing incredibly well with his athletes through Onyx as well, and it's got to be happy days for Trevor Whitman for sure. Now,
yeah,
I know you brought up with Zhang Weili possibly having the rematch with Rose. Look, I'm kind of opposed to it because it happened in the first round. If it happened so quickly that perhaps you could maybe produce a rematch. And I understand that maybe the women's divisions aren't as, talent heavy, but so I totally understand with your concern about what Zhang thought about the stoppage. Now, I don't understand why she objected to Keith Peterson's decision with the stoppage. Look, it was completely correct. She was knocked out. She was unconscious. It looked like Rose had been setting up that scenario, setting up those successive movements in her pad work as well on the UFC Embedded. Kamara even called it actually on the UFC Embedded as well. But Rose had been setting up that head kick, and it just caught Zhang Weili in the perfect spot. Caught her, turned the lights off, and it was when Zhang Weili was actually a little bit off balance. She was bouncing, moving around, and almost mid-flight. Mid movement, she got caught on the chin. It just that's what happens. You get caught in the right spot, it cuts off the connection, and boom, you're down on the ground. And Rose put in a couple more shots. Zhang Weili wasn't defending them at all correctly, and it wasn't intelligent defense at all. I think the real reason why Zhang was upset about it was, it's actually two things. One, she's not used to losing. The one time she lost was her debut by decision. Every single fight since her debut, she's won. She's never lost. And she's never lost by TKO before, ever, or by submission. She's never been finished ever. So it's completely understandable why she was upset, especially in the moment, but she's not used to this. She's not used to this at all, okay? And also, I would say the second thing is, look, whenever it comes to these Chinese athletes, they are conditioned to win. Chael Sonnen even spoke about it as well. When it comes to the Olympics, the Chinese are known for, if you don't have a extremely high probability of winning gold and winning a medal, they're not going to put you on the plane. They're not going to send you out to the Olympics. Whenever it comes to their athletes, they pick these athletes, quite shortly after birth and in their childhoods, and they build them up from there, and they make them really good athletes. They are so focused on winning because it's considered a really good representation of their country and their image, and almost as well as their ideal, identity to the world. They don't expect that to happen. She's not expecting to lose, and China's not expecting her to lose. And when that happens, she's obviously going to blame it and say it's an early stoppage, but she's not used to losing. She's never done it before, other than her debut.
No.
Look, it's understandable. You're in the moment. You're not going to know what's happening, but I'm sure as she looks at the footage again later on, she's going to go, yeah, I think they were right. Honestly, Keith Peterson saved her from more and more damage, and look, she got caught. She can fight another day, and that's what happens.
Did you hear what she said in the post-fight interview?
No, I didn't, unfortunately.
Where she said that he smelled like beer and cigarettes. I'm joking. I just wanted to bring that up because it's Keith Peterson. But one thing I thought was just strange is that she was stomping around at the end, and then her corner was like, what happened? I don't know what happened. Like, could barely even stand. I just don't really believe that she didn't take it that well in the cage, but she's put out a post on social media, and she said, look, hats off. I got a little bit emotional. I mean, completely understandable. Everybody, like, I watch him. I mean, for someone, hats off to, I'm going to come back and I'm going to be better than the champion. Isn't the goal anymore a higher purpose? I thought that was a brilliant comment to come off. I do believe that the rematch is potential. However, maybe there's definitely some more upcoming in the strawweight division. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure what could be next.